Good morning, everybody. Welcome once again to a Thursday of Arnie's Fantasy Sports, and it's week 9 of the NFL season. And so tonight we kick off week 9. Sorry about the little earthquake there moving my screen. I'm sorry. We kick off week 9 on Thursday night with the Packers and the 49ers. And the name sounds great, right? But there are so many injured players tonight for the 49ers and Packers, especially on the 49ers side. And instead of talking about this morning, for the few minutes I'm going to be with you, the players who are hurt, I'm going to talk about the players who are playing. Because if you are a fantasy guru and you're setting lineups for tonight, then frankly there are not a lot of options. Of course, I probably have to go over a few of the injuries, but overall, it's more who's available than who's not. So let's take a look at the situation in San Francisco. We know that they're without their starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. And Mullins is going to be under center tonight. Last week in the second half, when he came in substitution of Garoppolo, he threw over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, I know it was against Seattle. And I know Seattle does not have the best defensive secondary in the NFL. I get it. But the fact that Mullins can throw for 250 yards in the second half, can throw for 3 touchdowns without primary weapons there, tells me, hey, he's at least NFL viable. I'm not suggesting you go out and add Mullins to your fantasy team. I'm not suggesting that you start him tonight. That's not where I'm at. I am saying because he is at least what I think an average NFL quarterback, it's not going to cause deterioration at other positions. So, with that said, we know they also last week lost All-Pro tight end Greg Kittle. He is brittle because he's hurt now for the second time this season. It's a small broken bone in his foot. And I liken it to those of you who may be North Carolina State Wolfpack basketball fans, if you're listening, to Derek Whittenburg. Remember in the 1983 fabulous run to the title, Whittenburg had broken his foot in a game against Virginia, broke a small bone, missed about, 6 weeks, came back, had a great tournament run. All right, similar injury. Kittle, they're saying maybe out up to 8 weeks. Kittle says he's going to be out only 2 weeks. What do I do with that? All right, first of all, if I am a Kittle owner, which I am in my 14-team league, oh, by the way, I'm now 6-2. I've won 6 in a row. I'm in second place, knocking on the door for first. Team 1 and 3 play each other this week, so who knows? I got to win first, though, right, for it to matter. But Kittle is out anywhere from 3 weeks to 8 weeks because he was put on the IR, which means when you're put on the injury reserve, you have to be out for at least 3 weeks. Probably closer to the 8 than the 3, but if he makes it back before 8, he makes it back in time for some fantasy playoffs. So in the meantime, the 49ers have been working out Jordan Reed. You Washington Football Club fans, you know Jordan Reed well. You know his injury proneness, but you also know the unbelievable talent that he has. In the week that Jordan Reed started earlier this year in place of Kittle against the Jets, he scored over 20 fantasy points in that first start. Then he was injured the following week against the Giants in the end zone trying to make a catch. He's been working out this week. Jordan Reed may be a viable option. I think what we have to do there, guys, is keep our eye on the prize, listen to injury reports. He was activated from the injury list. He's been working out light workouts this week. If he plays, I think he's a start. I think he has the upside of a tight end 1. I really do. So we want to watch Jordan Reed. Another player we want to watch on the San Francisco side of the ball is JaMycal Hasty. And in fact, I'm going to go out and say JaMycal Hasty may be the player of the night. Shanahan's offense is built around the run. And if you know 49er football, then you know that they are without 3 of their running backs for tonight, okay? And they've got JaMycal Hasty, who was on the practice squad. They've been very impressed with him throughout camp, throughout the season. He's going to get the start tonight against a Green Bay defense that is 32nd, and there are only 32 teams, 32nd in the NFL against the run. Remember what Dalvin Cook and the Vikings did to this Packer defense last week, albeit it was Dalvin Cook, who is a fantasy and reality stud in his own right. But Cook rushed for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns last week against the Green Bay defense. I think he scored like 50 fantasy points on his own. And now just 5 days later, off short rest, this Packer defense is back on the field trying to defend the run against JaMycal Hasty. And I tell you, I need some help. Remember my brother, we're talking about this morning. I've got Antonio Brown I picked up. And I'm going back and forth between, do I start JaMycal Hasty on Thursday night against the Packers, or do I wait and start Antonio Brown at that same flex position on Sunday night against the Saints? You know, I just think AB is going to have a tremendous start to his season, and the starting wide receiver there broke his finger, the index finger. I was listening this morning and reading as well. That is an injury that 2 to 3 weeks is probably average. He's only missed 1. So if Godwin is out for Tampa Bay, that means even more looks for Antonio Brown. And what did Coach Bruce Arians say about Antonio Brown? He could see him getting anywhere between 10 and 35 snaps. All right, 35 snaps means he plays the whole game. So, or basically the whole game. That's going to be an up and down affair, in my opinion, Sunday night at 8:20. So there I am. I'm torn between a JaMycal Hasty, who if you're ever going to start him, you're going to start him against the Packers, or do I start Antonio Brown, AB, Sunday night against New Orleans? I need some help, people. Why don't you type in, give me some comments. I'll be looking at it even after this is no longer live. I'll go back later today. You guys give me some feedback. Do I start JaMycal Hasty? Do I start Antonio Brown? For the Packers tonight, they're hurt as well. How bad? Well, so bad that they don't have many running backs. They're like on their 4th string running back. That's right. So, well, let's go back. One more I got a wide receiver, Trent Taylor, for the 49ers, who's probably going to start tonight out of the lack of no one else is there. Dwelley may be the tight end if we don't have the players in place that I'm thinking. Jordan Reed, Dwelley, have you ever heard of him? Okay. And Taylor, you ever heard of him? That's where I'm going with this. Now for the Packers, Allen Lazard will probably be activated tonight. That's what I'm reading this morning. Now this is early in the day. Don't go put him in your lineup as of yet. But Allen Lazard would be a number 2 receiver on a pass-happy team. And he's got the confidence of his quarterback. Brendan Rodgers threw to him earlier in the year. His last outing before injured, he scored 23 fantasy points against New Orleans. And in that game, he had 8 targets, 146 yards, and a receiving touchdown. If Lazard is back tonight, he is a start, and he is someone that you want on your fantasy team. At the running back position, Williams is out. Aaron Jones is doubtful. It's going to be a real guessing game as to who plays. Now, Irvin has gotten some chatter this week, and let's talk about Irvin. Not a very, never drafted, okay? Never drafted was Irvin. He's going to probably get a start tonight as Tyler Irvin. He's more of a third down type back, but you're on a team that throws a lot. And so being a third down back on a team that throws a lot is not a bad spot to be in at all. Tyler Irvin, Allen Lazard, those are Packers for tonight. Of course, you've got one of the all-time greats in Brendan Rodgers throwing the ball out there to these guys. I think it's going to be a decent scoring game. I'm usually very hesitant, people, to start players on Thursday night. Short prep week. Not a lot of time to get the body healed. I just don't think players are typically as energetic on a Thursday to play as they are on a Sunday or a Monday night. but it's what we have, and you've got some real opportunity here with both of these teams. So in order, I think if I were starting players and I had to start players, I think I'd start JaMycal Hasty first. I just think the opportunity is going to be there. The defensive setup for the Packers is not good. He's going to be the main bell cow running back. If they bring McKinnon in, it's going to be normally on passing downs. And with a backup quarterback, you know they're going to want to run the ball. It's just, to me, a perfect storm for a great breakout for a JaMycal Hasty. Start him tonight. Feel good about it. If you're going to pick a Packer, not a Panther, I would go with Lazard. Now, I'm staying away from Rodgers and the top line players. I'm talking about people who may be obscure. You may need somebody to fill in tonight on your fantasy team. And these are some guys that you may want to take a look at. Looking at my team, my league, I'm 6-2. I'm only 4 points short of leading the league in scoring. This week I'm playing the 14th ranked team, but he's got a pretty good squad going up against Phillip Rivers. I don't know about that Baltimore defense. I don't know about Indy. And I tell you what, we're talking about Indy. How about their running back situation? I mean, they've got this rookie running back, right? And he was the talk of the town. Everybody was wanting to draft Jonathan Taylor, and Taylor he's underperformed. And last week against Detroit, which is the third worst rushing defense in the NFL, he only rushed 11 times for 22 yards. He was pulled in the second half in favor of Jordan Wilkins, and Wilkins went off. Wilkins last week against the same Detroit defense, he scored 20 points. He had 89 yards rushing. He had a rushing TD. He had 24 yards reception. He had a 2-point conversion. Jordan Wilkins looks to be in play again this week. Now, they're playing a Baltimore defense, but after this week, look at this. And I'm going to tell you where they rank in the league. They play Week 10 at Tennessee, the 22nd worst rush defense in the NFL. Green Bay, the worst, 32nd. Okay, Tennessee again, 22nd. Houston, second worst, 31st ranked. The Raiders, I hate to say it, 5th worst, 27th ranked. And then Houston again in Week 15. We're knee-deep into the playoffs at this point. So Jordan Wilkins, I know it's not a name you're familiar with, but if he remains the starter in Indianapolis going forward for the rest of the season, you got some primo rushing defenses to go up against, which is why Taylor was such a hot commodity, because people were planning for the playoffs. Let's just call it like it is. He just hadn't come through. And they've given him 10 weeks to do it. I think it's a short leash. I don't know what they'll do with him this week, but it looks like, as successful as Wilkins was, that Wilkins and Nyheim Hines will be the third down back on occasion. That's where the Colts are going with it. If he's available on your waiver wire, go get him and let's play him and let's see how it goes. Okay? Guys, it's great to be with you this morning. I've got a short show because I've got a lot of things going on today, but I always enjoy taking a few minutes talking about the games that are on play or in play tonight. There's only one. Look for those free agents. I'll be back with you on Monday morning. That's right, Monday morning right here on Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports.